And we are back with another episode of Permanent Record presented by Simple Math Matrix. And this week we come to you with the album review of The Massacre by 50 Cent. It's your boy Mr. aka Super Route 357, best known as Prince Godbody, and I'm joined by
the guy, King Hooper, also known as the kid who literally sticks to your bread.
And just before we begin, we're going to start. Well, I want to start just before we begin.
Yeah, go on.
That The Massacre is one of those integral albums to me as far as building my opinion on hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I feel like The Massacre is the last true gangster rap album of all time. And at the time I heard it, it was kind of for our generation the second one behind Get Rich or Die Trying. But that one, the one, when I say that one, and The Massacre was more mainstream in the fact that you had Candy Shop, just a little bit, Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
So those radio singles broke to the mainstream, but when you got to the core of the album, it was still a gangster rap album.
Yeah,
and to still pick up heavy numbers on a sophomore album and it not be like a sophomore slump for 50 was like crazy for me being a 50 fan.
And come to find out, the album, because that was back when all albums dropped on a Tuesday.
Yep,
exactly. So you can get the full week.
To get the sound scans.
Yeah, get these sound scans in the sales, because you know, physical copy definitely 2005.
Mm-hmm.
But this album dropped on a Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, it dropped like a day late.
Yeah, it dropped like a day late. So for the album to still like sell like 1.2 or 1.1 million.
That's exactly
like, and it was the highest selling rap album at the time.
Exactly, for like you said, for it to be the highest selling rap album, what 50 did, his sophomore album was ridiculous, especially when we speak in the scope of that sophomore slump.
Exactly.
Because I'm a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
So like I said, I was there. I remember it coming out that day late, going to go get that CD, like asking my mom to take me and shit, like listening to it first day and shit.
Yeah.
And how big that was. And when you look back in the scope of rap, even like during all, like whose second album was really like 50 Cent's second album? If it wasn't Kanye West, it was 50. Like
it was 50 Cent.
50 Cent had the
50 Cent was the biggest rapper at the time. From 2000, from the time he dropped that first album to the time he dropped that second album, 50 Cent was the hottest rapper in the game.
And he was untouchable.
And he was untouchable. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to speak on the other shit. But yeah, because he still had G-Unit in between all those years. And that's the reason why he was able to have a year and a half gap between
his first and
second album, especially during, and that's the thing. During that time, people think like nowadays, you know what I'm saying, you have to be quick, which you do have to be quick.
Yeah.
Drop. But back then, you couldn't drop a hot album 1 year and then take like 2 years off.
Yeah, because people like DMX would just hit you 2 years in a row when they were coming back out.
Exactly,
like
and
that.
then you still had niggas like Hove who was still dropping like every year.
Exactly.
And then you have Kanye coming out on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the game was very like competitive back then.
Exactly. Like you said, him filling his personal off spaces with G-Unit albums, G-Unit projects, the sneakers, the clothes, the brand, the video games. That was brilliant. 50 Cent, he showed with that sophomore album that he could keep himself afloat in every aspect. Like, he was going to be a name to be remembered.
Exactly.
Damn near for all time. Because he was going to keep it around no matter what. And that has extended into now. Look at the fucking power
shit. Just look at the DMF. You know what I'm saying?
Everything he's put his hands.
What he's done with social media.
He's extended his longevity, not through his personal art, but through what he endorses and the shit that he funds and you know what I'm saying? Things like that. This second album, I feel like when he really pulled the success out with this second album, he realized he was a brand and as a hustler type person, he realized he could finesse that.
Transfer that into the music business and transfer that into the entrepreneur.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's exactly what he did.
Because even with this album, honestly, as highly anticipated as it is, most of the history around it is about how much of it was leaked and how much of it was not supposed to be just 50's album.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? At that point,
how much of it wasn't even on this album?
Oh, how much didn't make that?
Yeah, didn't make the album. It was on the Games album.
Exactly. And then there's another thing that goes back. 50's influence was so far reach. He was the king of New York and writing for the biggest upcoming artists in LA at that time in the game. And this was during the time where anybody that would be in that position would only be trying to go bigger and bigger. They're not trying to give their best shit or even their B-grade shit, to the next person.
Yeah.
But he was doing that with the game. Like Game got some hate it or love it.
Yeah.
Like and that's the best way to kind of
story.
The best way to kind of encapsulate that, like how much that the game really like ate off of 50's writing. Like no matter how you want to put it. And when it comes back to it, we know that 50 has a wicked pen and he was writing for the game. When you look at the Massacre and you see that one of the bonus tracks on the Massacre is that Hate It or Love It remix, the All-Star G-Unit remix, you kind of put two and two together. This probably was a G-Unit song, especially with Mary J on it, from being from New York. This was a G-Unit song way before it was a game song.
Yeah.
And it's wild to see that a hit like that 50 not only had more, but was able to transition something like that was an all-star squad hit into something that was just a game solo, him and game song that propels game into the national spotlight.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes him the next big thing. 50's versatility as not only a rapper, but a writer is really what's showcased on this album. Because he has the hardest songs on the album, like I'm Supposed to Die Tonight, but then there's God Gave Me Style, and then there's rider music. You know what I'm saying? All three of those songs sound completely different, but they're all fucking perfectly executed as far as songwriting goes.
Exactly, yeah. 50 pen is immaculate. He definitely does showcase that on a lot of these songs.
Yeah.
And speaking of, one of my favorite songs was kind of Give Me Style.
Yeah.
That's the first song he wrote for this album.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
And the thing about it was 50 had said that he had wrote it for his grandmother, and then when he said when he showed it to us, we played it for his grandma and everything, she said she loved it, but she was also like, don't turn away from what you made the people love you for.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's talking about still go back to that gangster. You know what I'm saying? This is still going with gangster. Yeah. And that's what 50 said he was doing with this album.
Because that intro, the first three tracks of the Massacre, This Is 50 and I'm Supposed to Die, and then the intro before it, is he comes in a way that he enforces himself like, hey, y'all know who I am. Like, this is 50. 50 is in this bitch. He's about to wreak fucking havoc. He is the kingpin. Nobody's fucking touching 50, and they weren't. That's the thing. Even socially, people were not fucking with 50. 50, it was at that point where he was trying to cross over into dating like Vivica Fox.
Yeah, exactly.
And all these women.
Going into like the real celebrity status.
Yeah, the real celebrity world. But he's still the biggest gangster rapper in the world.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So he's saying all that shit. And then I'm Supposed to Die Tonight.
And then this whole time, he's still kind of beefing with Ja Rule, too.
He's beefing with everybody.
He's beefing with everybody.
You got to think Piggy Bank is just his second real big
diss track.
Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you diss track to the industry.
Because, he said,
How to Rob.
Like, first one.
Piggy Bank, for real. Like
he's dissing, in Piggy Bank, he's dissing Fat Joe, Jadakiss,
Mobb Deep, he's just everybody.
Nas,
anybody that
Sean,
could have been popular, Khalees.
Yeah.
Like anybody that could have been popular then that time. But that's another brilliant thing about 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent is the best at playing. He really showed it with this album. He's the best at playing the media. Because at this point, he's made his money. He doesn't give a fuck about no rap beat, for real. If it's not in the streets, and even if it's in the streets, he's dating Vivica Fox. He's crossing out of it, you know what I'm saying, beyond certain shit. But for real, with Piggy Bank, 50 Cent, like you said, his grandmother said, he went back to what he knew. How to Rob really got him fucking popping.
Yeah.
So you know what he did when he got on a bigger scale? He made a Piggy Bank.
Thing. same damn
and
thing.
piggyback
Called out all
about everybody up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He told Fat Joey that fat nigga thought Lean Back was in the club. My shit sold 11 mil. Your shit was a dud. And like that is a fucking, that's a slight, that's a diss, but that's fat.
Yeah. And that's what 50 said. He said, "Yeah, I'm not just making shit up. I'm calling shit out that's real."
You know what
I'm saying? I see everything.
50's braggadocious fucking arrogant persona was established through the music first, if anything.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? It's always been him. And this is his third real time out as far as doing an album. A lot of people say it's the second 50 Cent album, but honestly, it's the third 50 Cent album.
Yeah.
But the second mainstream one.
Second
but he's always been in the lane that 50 Cent is going to step on you. He's going to be the biggest guy in the room because he feels like he deserves to be. And once he's achieved it, he's going to fucking rub your face in it.
He's going to get some bars.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's what kind of just not talking about the fact that he still got bars.
A lot of people underestimate the fact that 50 Cent is legitimately probably top 20 rappers all time. And that's me being loose with it.
Yeah.
I could tighten up and say 15 for Earl.
Yeah. I never even thought about to put him in that category.
But why not?
50 has always been bigger than his music.
Almost. Of course, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
because he's created, he's always known that the popularity his music garnered can create a brand, and that's what I feel like this whole sophomore album is about. Because
people always negate his his ability as a songwriter too. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, because you see. He has
because to make In the Club, then make Disco Inferno,
also Candy Shop.
And I'm saying those two specifically because those are essentially the same song, and the way they are, like the way that the club song. Yeah, the way that the club.
One's a girl song. One's a One's a club song. But I feel like that's totally different. Disco Inferno was made for the Reggae Me remix for the career. You know what I'm saying? For the 1,500 remixes. No,
I just remember how big they were as a kid when I was.
As far as popularity on the radio, yeah. But as far as I feel like their aim and what they were achieving to do, totally different. Totally different. Candy Shop was for the girls, the kid.
I didn't say Candy Shop.
You said Candy Shop and
I said In the Club and Disco Inferno.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'm mistaken then, yeah.
Those are the same song.
But in that case, do you think that?
No, I'm saying like for somebody, because that's just knowing that's like how nowadays where a nigga can make, how Young Thug and Gunna can make three skis within 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that in that aspect. I do track myself back. I feel like it worked before and it worked again.
Exactly.
50, he was a genius songwriter. Mm-hmm. This second album for him, through every track, it's a storytelling because even with the features, they're perfectly placed.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't really get a lot of features on this album. And that's one thing you don't.
And it's a 22 song album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Batman and Robin is one of my favorite songs when it came out.
Really?
Yeah.
Toy Soldier was mine.
Oh, Toy Soldier, yeah.
I feel like Toy Soldier is the best fucking feature on the album. Tony Yayo. Because the thing is, nobody really had heard much of Tony Yayo.
Yeah.
Also, Predicate Felon was coming out around that time. Mm-hmm. So he was trying to dip him in the waters of the public. And that shit worked. Waves in my head like a tsunami hit it. I remember fucking repeating that shit in 5th grade over and over and over with my own boy Ever Kitty because that bar was so fucking hard.
It was that hard, bro.
Yeah, bro, that bar is still that hard. I'm telling you how 50 Cent introduced Tony Yayo into the public, mm-hmm. and especially with the power of the Massacre, is something I feel like is also underrated. Mm-hmm. Because he had the rest of the guys have been able to be out and be on tour and be in the public eye. Tony Yayo hadn't. So Tony Yayo had the only spot in G Unit on the album.
Yeah. Oh, he did.
He had the only spot in G Unit that wasn't Olivia, and Olivia really doesn't count because she's not, at G Unit. G Unit, she's G Unit Records.
Yeah.
So he was the only guy in G Unit that got a spot on the biggest album that was supposed to be and is still the biggest gangster rap album of the times.
Yeah, it's true.
So, but you know what I'm saying? 50 really looked out. He really looked back and, hand back a pack to Tony Yayo with that.
Definitely.
There's a lot, like, because not only just putting on Tony Yayo, but the fucking mix of producers he did with this.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk about that.
I don't even know the real mix of producers because I just know how he did it. He took an unbiased approach to picking producers.
And how so?
He instead of just asking for producers, he just asked them to put the songs, like the tracks on a blank CDs.
Yeah.
And he would just say number them, like CD 1, CD 2, and 3 like that, and just rap over them, and then pick from those. I think ultimately he had like 60 songs for this album.
I can see that. I could definitely.
Yeah, he had like 60 songs for this album. So just imagine all the producers and all the songs that didn't make the cut, and the producers that did make it. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of the producers that came on this album were up and coming.
Had to be.
Yeah, that he just picked. Yeah.
Because I was looking back and I didn't recognize too many names, honestly, from the Massacre's production. Actually, pull up the production credits if you can, real quick. Because the production on the Massacre is another thing that really, we always talk about albums and the permanent record that have a thematic feeling, like it feels like a movie. And the Massacre is really one of those albums. And for it not to be produced by one producer makes that even more shocking. Like for 50 Cent to have the curation brain to put together beats in a sequencing order that damn near sound like a movie that he's pretty much coming up with the entire concept for is out of this world.
Yeah.
50 is a lot more creative than a lot of people give him credit for. And I still don't understand that, seeing as how he's done so much as far as music, film, and TV. You know what I'm saying? He's done everything but the stage as far as immediately popular entertainment goes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 50 is
Let me see those production credits real quick.
Eminem's on a lot of credits.
Oh yeah, there is a lot of Eminem. Yeah, I do remember that. Scott Storch, High Tech, Disco DQ Beats. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the album production is crazy. My favorite beat gotta be Ski Mask Way.
Ski Mask Way is the fucking hands down best beat. Yeah. That breakdown in last bridge part, that last bridge is stupid. Yeah. And Ski Mask, that's enough. And people, we want to talk about fucking writing. Baltimore Love Thing.
Oh no,
about Ski Mask, Baltimore Love Thing. It's one of those long form metaphors that if you like, when I was younger, I did not get it. It's not one of those things you really get until maybe somebody tells you or you really think about it.
You just grow up.
Because a Baltimore Love Thing being a fucking ode to a woman from heroin.
Yep.
Honestly, when was it that you figured out that a Baltimore Love Thing was about an addiction?
Probably within the past couple of years now. You know what I'm saying? When I revisit this album.
Yeah, because the way he writes it in such a long form metaphor and the point of view he takes is you could, especially when it came out, I was in 5th grade when this album, 4th, 5th grade when this album came out. Still my favorite album. I thought it was just a regular love song. But it wasn't until I got to probably middle junior high. I listened to it again and I said, oh shit, 50 Cent is a fucking genius. This song is actually like one of those. If people are talking about, when people talk about lyricism and real rap, Nas rap from the point of view of a gun.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? People love that shit.
Backwards.
50 raps from the point of view of a drug. And I feel like, honestly, a Baltimore Love Thing is one of the most underrated and overlooked songs in hip hop history, as far as how well it's written, as in relation to the subject it's written about.
Yeah, about the subject matter. Yeah, I think that's one of the best concept songs in hip hop that doesn't get talked about enough.
Why do you think that is? I think it's also on one of the best gangster rap albums.
Yeah, and it's also about and it's also 50 Cent too. Who's a very who was also big, like I'm saying, bigger than his music. So
you're saying people don't take 50 seriously?
Nah, I think people didn't, because I think the songs that were singles. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, of course.
Yeah, like those are the songs that are always gonna be talked about.
Of course.
On this album. So that's how I think songs like this get lost in the mix.
But
Because that's a deep cut.
But real hip hop fans, this is not a deep cut. I don't think Baltimore Love Thing or Ski Mask Way.
I don't think Ski Mask Way is.
Why not? Why would?
Because of production.
Why is it not? Do you think more people know about it? Honestly?
Yeah. I think Ski Mask Way is going to be talked about more than.
Do you think
like in the 50 conversation? I think somebody's going to bring up Ski Mask Way before they bring up a Baltimore Love Thing.
Which speaks to his image. That only speaks to that gangster image.
Yeah. So I think.
But now that he's transitioned into the shit he's doing now, why wouldn't they bring up Baltimore Love Thing?
I don't know. I think that's a good point to bring up because that does make sense.
Because once somebody,
that is kind of like it is almost like a power script.
Yeah.
When you look at the song, if you were to break down the lyrics of that song.
Johnny, he's always been brilliant at the writing. It's just he may be necessary.
Because didn't he write most of Get Rich or Die Trying? The actual movie?
I'm not sure about that.
I don't know.
I'm not sure about that.
I would say he definitely had to have input on his own life.
Yeah, exactly. He did. He oversaw that part. As far as this album, you think this is a better outing than Get Rich or Die Trying?
You see, I was dreading this question because I haven't listened to Get Rich or Die Trying in like a couple months. But no, I don't. Because Get Rich or Die Trying is one of the, if not top 5 best rap debut albums of all time, and it's definitely top 10 best rap albums of all time. Easy.
Wait, hold on.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
I agree with you, but honestly, I will say as a complete album, I gotta take the Massacre over Get Rich or Die Trying. The Massacre has every single point you would want to hit in a rap album. He starts off gritty. It's all well written. Like that's been our focal point of this shit. Is that 50 Cent is an amazing writer. Like that's what is overlooked about everything in his career, but mostly about this album is he's an amazing writer. He switches the ambience of the album flawlessly in very definite stages of the album, as opposed to sticking to kind of just one. I mean, it's not saying that Get Rich or Die. I love Get Rich or Die Trying. I love them damn near equally. But Massacre is just better. When you have better resources, it's better. When you have better selection of groceries, the food's going to taste better. And that's just how the Massacre is for me. You know what I'm saying? Because 50's now.
Yeah, Nate Dogg. That's a crazy list to come out with.
I mean, it's crazy. I agree with you. Nate Dogg's crazy, but the way that the Massacre is put together is shit's crap.
I'm not knocking the Massacre at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. Yeah. What I can say, and that's I can say is, I'll give it to the Massacre only simply because 50 kind of made this album himself. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Get Rich or Die Trying was definitely heavily influenced by and Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying? Because this was his first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they were trying
so,
to
like you said, it still goes hand in hand with you. You got better now, so you got more better. You got more resources now. So, of course, now 50 knows what he wants. Yeah. He knows how he wants to make his album. That's why I'm giving that. So yeah, more creative control over this album. So that's why I can give it to Massacre, and you definitely hear it.
Yeah.
Because now 50 knows his
that's just beyond polish, yeah. Massacre, like I said, it's the best gangster rap album of all time for a reason.
The best.
It's thought out, it's crafted, it's polished.
That's another conversation of itself.
I don't know if it is, because I feel like it's an open and shut case.
A lot of gangster rap albums out there.
Yeah, they're not like the Massacre.
I know.
None of them have gone to the Massacre's level.
I don't know. That's because shit has to walk so shit can fly like this.
It's been 20 years, damn near.
I mean, I'm not talking about recent time. I'm talking about all time.
Yeah, exactly.
Prior to the Massacre.
Nobody strived with 50. 21 did, but it's still not the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
21 came out on something. Yeah. But that's a whole different, I don't know.
21's the closest to 50.
Yeah, I think 21 is just the last gangster rap. The close thing to a gangster rap.
Yeah, I guess I can agree with that.
Like, and I give Nudie that lane too.
But yeah, I know what you're saying, yeah. But as far as the Massacre, you got anything else? Favorite track?
Ski Mask Way, Piggy Bank, and God Gave Me Style.
Mine are Ski Mask Way and Baltimore Love Thing. Hands down. Lee's favorite track.
Damn. You know, it's crazy. It used to be used to be Gatman and Robin. It probably still is Gatman and Robin. But I do like that song though, and I do like Eminem's verse too.
I do. Yeah, that song's not bad. It's the one with Olivia. The summer. When
I like that song though.
I fucking hate that song. That's Frank and Paul. I hate that song. That's my least favorite. Yeah, I adore you. I hate
I actually
that
like this song.
Yeah, that's my least favorite.
I like the trumpets on it.
And that's fair. That's fair. If you like production, that's fair. Anything else you want to get out before we get out of here for the week?
Let me see. I don't know. Is there something else?
Trying to think, what else was it that we wanted to maybe cover about the massacre? I don't think.
The original name of it.
Oh, the St. Valentine's Day Massacre after St. Valentine's Day Massacre. But those motherfuckers posed as cops and then sprayed up.
Yeah, sprayed up.
Is the album still as popular if it's named St. Valentine's Day Massacre?
No, that's too much. That's a mouthful. It's not though, because Get Rich or Die Trying is a mouthful.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. And it's supposed to leak. I mean, it's supposed to drop the day after Valentine's.
Yeah, or another day. I thought it was.
What's Valentine's Day?
Who knew? Back until.
I mean, I think it's always at the same date.
What's it? 14th of February.
It came out February 15th. It was supposed to come out February 15th. But yeah.
You want to give our outro?
No, I want you to.
All right, and so this has been another episode of Permanent Record presented by Simple Math Matrix. It's your boy, Mr. aka Super Rob 357, best known as Prince Godbody. And before I sign off, I want to say, please subscribe, follow us on all platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube most specifically. You're probably watching this on YouTube. Actually, I know you're watching this on YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe down below. Hit that bell for the notifications and shit. Make sure you like, leave a comment, talk shit. Let us know what your favorite track from the Massacre is and what your least favorite track is and what your most interesting 50 Cent fact is. And maybe we'll get back to you. We are signing off. It's been great to be with y'all. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.